If you ask a betting expert who's going to win the 2026 NBA title, you'll probably get a pretty straightforward answer. But what if I told you that when you dig into the data, a much more complicated and honestly, a way more fascinating story starts to unfold? So, let's break down what the numbers are really telling us about the wild ride to the championship.
Okay, so it all kind of kicked off on January 9th. Picture this, the Los Angeles Lakers, a team built around two of the biggest superstars on the planet, LeBron James and Luka Doncic, lost a game at home. And they didn't just lose, they fell to the Milwaukee Bucks, a team that, at the time, had a losing record. I mean, seriously.
And here are the numbers to prove it. Final score, Bucks 105, Lakers 101. But look, the real story is staring us right in the face in those records. A 17-win team went into the house of a 23-win supposed powerhouse and just beat them. This wasn't just some regular season game. This was the kind of result that sends shockwaves through the entire league.
And you got to understand, this wasn't just one bad night. It felt more like a crack in the armor of a team everyone thought was a serious title contender. A loss like this makes everyone, us included, start to question the entire pecking order of the league. Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. If a team that stacked, with two of the best players alive, is this vulnerable, then who can you actually trust? Who is the real favorite, according to the odds makers, to win it all in 2026? All right, so let's cut through all the noise. Let's take a look at the view from the very top. We're about to see which team the betting markets believe is truly head and shoulders above everyone else. That number you're looking at right there, plus 135. Now, for anyone who doesn't speak Vegas, that basically means they are the overwhelming, clear-cut favorite. And that team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the case for OKC? It's just staggering. I mean, they're not just the defending champs with the best record in the league. They're outscoring their opponents by almost 15 points a game. But here's the part that's truly mind-blowing. They are on pace for the highest net rating in NBA history. We're talking about a statistical juggernaut. But, and there's always a but, right? Even this powerhouse has shown a few cracks recently. A 6-4 record over their last 10 games? I mean, that's kind of pedestrian for a team this good. They had losses to the Spurs and the Suns, which just proves they can be beaten. So the favorite is dominant, for sure, but they are not perfect. You see, the odds themselves only tell us one part of the story. To get the full picture, you have to go a layer deeper. You have to see where people are actually putting their hard-earned cash. So yeah, it's time to follow the money. So here's the thing. The sportsbooks set the odds, yeah, but those odds are massively influenced by where the money is going. And that leads to a totally different question. Is the public betting in line with the odds makers, or do they see an upset brewing on the horizon?
And what do you know? It turns out the public isn't completely sold on the Thunder. This chart shows the ticket percentage, which is just a fancy way of saying the total number of individual bets placed. And as you can see, the Denver Nuggets are actually on top, just barely. This means more individual people are betting on them than anyone else. Think of it as the popular vote.
Okay, but that was the popular vote. This slide, this is where the story completely flips. This is the handle percentage. We're talking about the total amount of money being wagered. And here, it's not even close. The Thunder are pulling in a massive 17.9% of all the money, way ahead of everyone else. And this right here, this is the crucial divide. On one side, you've got the popular vote, more individual bets spread out across a few different teams. But on the other side, you have what a lot of people in the business call the smart money. The high-stakes bettors, the ones wagering the largest sums, are putting their confidence and their cash overwhelmingly behind OKC. So with this split between what the public thinks and where the big money is going, we decided to turn to a different kind of expert, an oracle for the modern age, artificial intelligence. We fed all the data we could find into an AI to get its take on the championship race, and it didn't even hesitate. It immediately locked onto the Thunder's core, identifying their star trio as the engine that drives both an elite offense and a top-tier defense. And here's how the AI broke it all down. It sees a near-perfect combination. You have the MVP-level engine in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the ideal two-way star in Jalen Williams, and a defensive game-changer in Chet Holmgren. And on top of all that, the AI flagged their incredible depth and flexibility to play any style. From every single angle, the AI is basically concluding that their case is rock solid. So, after all that, where does it leave us? Well, with a dominant favorite, some very flawed challengers, and a story that is clearly far, far from over.
It really all boils down to this central tension, right? You've got the absolute statistical dominance of the Thunder, but with those recent signs of vulnerability. You have the raw superstar power of the Lakers, but man, they are just frustratingly inconsistent.
And then you have the Nuggets, who've got the people's vote, but not the confidence of that so-called smart money.
Which brings us right back to where we started. That Lakers loss showed us that on any given night, chaos can win. So the ultimate question is this: in the 2026 NBA playoffs, will the overwhelming statistical dominance of the Thunder prove to be destiny, or does chaos still have a chance to reign supreme?